Welcome to Moonlight Madness. I had to restart that. I just didn't think it was the right thing to record. It's a bit too personal, so I had to reassess it. Now, the decks I'm working with is by Radley Valentine. I'm not going to say the other person's name because they don't want to be identified with the tarot cards anymore. So, okay, the first card I pulled is Eight of Wands. You may be going on a trip somewhere. I could also mean the eight arrows of love. Eight of Springs is 8 days' time. You may be going on a short trip by flight. I'm getting an air flight to a place that's hot because we've got the Prince of Spring covering you, which is for me, is like the Leo, Aries, Sagittarian energy. And, you know, rabbits are usually really quick and nimble and they're fertile. So it says you're going into a time where you may be having to be careful what you do because it's a very fertile season for you. But this new person that you're going to visit is long distance. And they are passionate, they're restless, they're charming, they're self-confident, they're a passionate person about everything they do. They're a go-getter. They don't like to sit and waste time. They just go ahead and do it and then figure out how to fix it later on. That's the sort of people. They're just very impulsive, which suits you because you're not impulsive. You take a long time to make a decision. So it's unusual for you to just jump headfirst into something. You've got to really think it out before you even stick a toe in the water, is what I'm getting. Now, so being a fire sign, I've got Rainbow Runners crystals. I'm using Tiger's Eye. That's for the Leo energies. We're in Leo season right now. And then I've got the Black Obsidian. I'm putting that for the King of Cups because that Black Obsidian is to do with protection. And they're usually a Scorpio, Pisces or a Cancer. In the past you had to make a rash decision and move from one place to another. You had to make a snap decision. Maybe it was made for you. Your little family may have moved and taken you with them. And it wasn't something you really wanted to do, but it was out of your control. And it was a tower moment. It was a big event. And you may have left behind some really good friends up there if you come from another part of the country. If it was a hotter part of the country and you've gone to a colder climate, it might have been a huge adjustment in differences in schooling and how people do things in one state to another state. You might have different ways of doing things, is what I'm picking up. The Strength card is to do with, again, Leo energy. In your past you may have had a Leo around you, strongly around you to try and help you through, because you may have had a parent or grandparent that was looking out for your health. You needed to overcome some challenges, and the power of kindness and forgiveness, the time to embrace how wonderful you are. What we've got here crowning your path is the Queen of Pentacles. That's the Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy around you. They are very stylish, they're practical, they like to make a home. They like nice fabrics like velvet and satin. The fabric is very important to them, the way something feels. They could be abundant, as in they have lots of wealth of their own that they've made, and they're sitting on this nest egg, and it's their nest egg that they've built up over a couple of years to get to that sort of level of wealth. They may be thinking about you at this time. I don't know why. Maybe they are from another country and they are visiting family or friends here because they own a house here that they come and stay in, like a holiday house, for 6 months at a time before they go back to their job, which could be very transient. That's what I'm getting. They've got a job that they could be an actor, they could be a painter, a drawer, a singer, where they go on tour for 6 months at a time and then come back to their little nest egg. Yeah, in their little home away from home is what I like to call it. It's a very homey, what I'm getting, this house that they've got is a very homey pad. Nice leather chairs, specifically getting yellow mustard chairs, a nice kitchen that's very homey. So like I'm getting like wood floorboards, and I'm getting that they've got a really nice kitchen, state-of-the-art kitchen. The oven's not that new, but it does its job. It's got a nice little outhouse where you've got the laundry, I'm seeing a back stairs that goes down into a backyard where there's possibly a fire pit that I'm getting. There may have been some sort of fire pit that you may have met them and sat out there with them, because that's where they like to go in the winter months. To sit on the back steps. That's what I was getting. It's a really old house, and I'm getting that it's possibly, it used to be a nunnery, specifically. It used to be a nunnery, and that's why they got a steal on the price. You may be looking at selling it. I don't know why, but I'm looking at you're going to sell, because I don't know, might not want to go back there again. You might have too many memories. You may have moved on with someone new. You might be partnered up with someone new. And that house has got too many memories that you don't want to face. There's a lot of sadness that is attached to that house. You've got a romantic partner coming you can trust. He is, or she is, a king of cups. They're honourable, they're devoted, they're mature, they're warm-hearted. They are a romantic partner you can trust. Excellent advice that comes from the heart. Getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavour. They may like to draw or paint, both. They may be very artistic. They may have a good eye for interiors as well. They might like interior decorating. They may like to cook, so they could be creative in that way. They may like to sing. I think that's what you were attracted to. Sometimes these people that can sing have this way of getting underneath your skin. It's the note, or it's the sound, or it's like they're a siren. They somehow got under your skin through their voice. You like the sound of their voice when they sing. It's a good singing voice, and they can sing well. And you're attracted to their voice before their body. Their physical appearance was not what attracted you to them. It was your voice. It was your singing voice that I'm hearing. That they used to hear you sing sometimes when you were living there, maybe as a flatmate, a shared house situation. But they fell in love with your voice, not your body, which is a very unusual thing for them. I think they were sort of shocked by that, because they're so used to looking a certain way. They're probably a bit vain, narcissistic, model physique, so they're only going to look for a model, you would think, but it wasn't that's not what they were attracted to. It could be just your voice, your smile. You may have had something about you that just piqued their interest. They wanted to know more about you. And they wanted to study you. That's what I'm getting. They wanted to study you. Maybe they're a method actor. They wanted to study someone that was interesting like you, because you might be a bit different to most people. And that's what got them enthusiastic about wanting to spend some months around you to watch how you move, like a movement method actor. They wanted to study your movements so that they could direct a movie with someone that doesn't look like you, but has to portray you. They might be behind the cameras, behind the scenes, and they needed to study your movement and how your mimicry, your mimics, your quirks, so how you are animated. They wanted to see so they could get a method actor in there to copy you. Shit, there might be some sort of, I don't know, special movie that they're making with you in it, but not you. That's what I'm getting specifically. And you've got the Eight of Wands, so Eight of Swords. This is, to me, is the prison, the mental anguish you put yourself in all the time. You may be so fearful of making the wrong decision that you keep yourself locked up in, like Rapunzel. You don't want to come out. You want to stay in your little building, your little house, or wherever you are. And maybe that's how they found you when they first met you. You weren't coming out of the room. You were all about whatever you were doing in your room. You did not let anyone in. There was no getting into you. It was like they felt shut out. But your mind stops you from trusting people, because maybe you're an empath and you could sense something about this person that you didn't. It felt, it unsettled you. You knew there was something more to their story. You kind of sensed that they were with someone, and that's why you didn't go anywhere near it, because you were attracted to him, to them, and I think they were attracted to you. And I think there was this look You had one of these looks over a kitchen bench top one morning, and there was something in the intensity that spoke volumes to that person, and they just came out and said, I can't give you what you're after. I know what you want. And that floored you. You're like, how do you know what I want? How could you tell what I want? Because I'm guessing they're a bit empathic as well. They could sense how you felt towards them. You're very male in your approach, and they're quite female. They could sense your maleness, your androgynous. You're an androgynous type of character. Aquarians are androgynous. They're not painted as female or male. They are both. Now, I'm not saying Aquarians only have that context of having male and female. Everybody has male and feminine energies in them, but you come across quite male. You quite, I guess they felt stalked. The word is stalked. They felt stalked by your energy. You were assessing them. And if you've got any type of fire in your chart, or you may even have, in the Chinese horoscope, you may be the walking tiger. I know I'm the walking tiger. And you hunt your prey. And if you're interested, you're not circling them, but you're assessing them. And you're sizing them up with your mind and with your third eye and with your vision. You have an intense stare. For anyone that's got Scorpio in their chart, they have one of the most intense stares that will just burn through you. You could look at someone and give them the evil eye, and they would know it. They would know that you were angry with them. They would know that you hated them, because you can't hide. Everything's written all over your face. You cannot mask how you feel. You're extremely intense, and this is what they found you to be. Extremely intense individual, and you were sussing them out, and they knew it. They knew that you were reading them. You were trying to get a read on them, and they were scared by it, I think. It's like a vampire. When a vampire goes and hunts, I'm going to reference to Twilight, when a vampire hunts its prey, it smells it and hears it within 600 k's away. It can sense it before it even arrives. This is what they found fascinating by you. You could sense them before they arrived in the house. They would leave the house and you would sense their arrival, or you would sense their departure. And they were kind of unhinged. They were shaken by your ability. Your ability was freaked the hell out of them. They didn't know what to make of you. I think a lot of them was doing a bit of happy stuff, weed, because they were trying to cope with the intensity that you gave when you were in that space, that house. It's like it was your house, but it wasn't. Maybe it was their house. And they were nice enough to let you stay in it. But no. You had an intensity that they were freaked out by. Then you've got here the Princess of Summer. This is someone around you who's younger than you, who looks up to you, who's very emotional, very sensitive, very kind. They like to write and journal, and they like to sit out in their garden. Again, I talked about the garden, because before I went to this shared house, I already dreamt about the garden. That's how I knew that was the right house. I went looking for places to rent, and it was a shared house, and I could see this garden in my head in a dream. And this was the little garden that I saw when I went out the back and went, that's the garden, this is the house, this is the one I have to take. And I knew without a shade of doubt that I was meant to stay there. I didn't know what for. It turned out to be a really bad experience. The person I was sharing with had a drug problem, and he threatened me. He was scary. Him and his other mate. He was circling my room. I was caged, like a caged bird. That's how I felt, trapped, like the Eight of Swords, because I couldn't come out of my room. The guy that was drinking, okay, so he was experiencing a death, and he was grieving, and he was drinking a lot. He'd start early in the morning, then he'd start to become abusive and try and knock on my door and try to get me to come out and talk to him, because he was drunk, right? But he threatened to roofie me. He threatened to put something in my drink, and it went down at Christmas time, and I almost died. He was scary. He was scary. Creepy man. I had to leave with just the shirt off my back, took my stuff and ran to my mum's house, and we had to come back and get the stuff because I couldn't stay there anymore. I was scared. It was a scary, like a freaking nightmare house. I went and did counselling over it. I was so upset. It took me like 3 years to stop checking the door now. I still check the door. I still put something in front of the door because I was scared about someone trying to come in and hurt me. We've got here the two, this guy had already left, the guy that I liked, that looked like someone at Twilight, left. He went overseas. I don't know where he went. Probably went to make Batman. Who knows? But he wasn't there. He wasn't around. If he had been there, I don't think it would have gone down. Because he was there, this other young kid hadn't even arrived. And he was the one with the issue, with the drug habit, real big drug habit. Yeah. So we've got the Two of Pentacles, bringing fun into everything you do, multiple priorities or jobs, and exceptional talent for multitasking. You possibly do 2 jobs. You might do this as your side hustle, this YouTube channel as a side hustle, and then you might do something else as a job. But there's 2 jobs. You're going to be separated. Maybe you are separated from this person because they live in a different country. They live in a cold country. This person that you used to know, someone I used to know, remember that song? Didn't have to shut me out. Someone that I used to know. Somebody that I used to know. And that's how it is. It's someone you used to know. And there's heartbreak attached to it. I think you felt something, they felt something. They had to leave because of a movie or I don't know what. And you just had to go, oh, I'm fine with it. Because I think you must have developed feelings for this person and didn't even know. This is the problem when you're an empath. You don't know if it's their feelings that they've got for you or your feelings that you've got for them, because you're picking up on their feelings. So you can't always disassociate what's your feelings and what's theirs. You may have this residual energy about them because you're picking up on their energy. You may start to cry for no reason around someone because you're picking up on their energy. I was with my son about a week and a half ago, and he was upset about something. He was sick, and when you're sick, you feel vulnerable. But I left there, and I had tears running down my face. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I crying? Why am I so upset? Because I could feel the sadness that was coming off of him. And he was sick. He was red. I think he had glandular fever. I think that's where I got the glandular fever from. He was really sick. He had body aches. He had cold and hot temperatures constantly. He ran out of meds, and I went and got it for him. I had to get the right meds because he's an asthmatic. So I put him on the right meds because he can't have ibuprofen, small doses, because of the asthma. If he had gone and got it, he would have got the wrong thing. So I got the right thing. It's got paracetamol, more paracetamol than ibuprofen, because I'm a pharmacy assistant next, so I know my stuff. I talked to the pharmacist and told them the contraindications. She's like, yeah, he needs this, I think it's called Maxigenic, work to treat. He was over it within 2 days. Yeah, he still went to work. He came home with it. He was sick with it. I was like, nah, you're not going to drive. He said, I feel dizzy. I don't feel well. So he was like, not hallucinating, but he was dizzy because of the fever. So I was worried about convulsions. And I left there, and I didn't want to leave him because I'm his mum, and I couldn't stop crying. I was walking home crying. I never said that to him. I don't want him to know I'm upset. When I love you, I really love you. I'll walk through fire for you. He knows that. Maybe you're going to have some type of reunion at Christmas time with this person that you once shared a house with. I feel there's going to be some sort of apology that's coming to you. I don't know what happened and why that went south for you when they weren't there, but they feel terrible about what happened to you. They found out about it through the real estate, and they feel awful that they left you with this person that they thought they could trust. They thought they could trust those people with you. They thought because they were friends as well. They thought being a friend, they're not going to hurt my friend, this new friend, but they were wrong. Break the chain. I was in therapy for it, by the way, for about 2 years. Transformation. Yeah, I couldn't go back to work because I was scared of being bullied again. I was bullied in that house. I was bullied at my last place of work. I was bullied by my ex. I've been bullied in lots of situations because I'm a good person, and people take advantage of that. And I can understand why he would not want anything to happen to me, because he could see I wasn't not someone that you would take advantage of anyone. I always cleaned up after myself. I made the house a home. If I did make a mess, I would clean it up the next day. I wouldn't disrespect him or his house. Break the chain. When I left, I was so sad. I can still see the house in my head. I really loved that house. I saw it like it was my home. I actually had a home because I didn't have a home For 2 or 3 years because of COVID, I was stuck in a dormitory, looking after a bunch of international students because I was a disability support worker, looking after them in a place in Bryant Street. That's where I was before I moved there. So to actually have a home, oh, you've got no idea how grateful I was to him or whoever let me lease that room, because I had a home. I had an actual home that I felt at the time safe in. It just went terribly wrong. Okay, so break the chain. Now these cards are very different to most cards. They talk about action, activation, transmission. Break the chain. 60. This is an action card. This is what you have to do. Alright. The next thing you have to do in order to contact them again, if you want to, you could do a, I don't know, drunk dial if you wanted to. I sort of attempted that today. He didn't recognise my voice, but I recognised him. I said, oh, this is the guy that sounds like Rob Patterson. And he was shocked. He was shocked. And I was like, you just sound like him. I know it's not you, but you do a good pretend. You do a really good pretend. If you're not Rob Patterson, then you look a hell of a lot like him. That's what I said to him. He said, oh, this is a private number. I said, yeah, I know it is. I said, I used to work with you. And he didn't say much. Didn't have anything to come back with. I said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to annoy you. I just wanted to say hi. Hope you're okay. That was it. That was just out of love. Because I've heard he's got some chick with a child, and I don't think that's what he wanted. And I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry he's been trapped. Break the chain. You are being called to heal your family line or free yourself from living the life of your ancestors. This could mean letting go of an old pattern of your maternal or paternal line. Healing trauma from the past that is not even yours, or observing old ways of being that no longer serve you. We carry emotional trauma in our luminous field for up to 7 generations back. This is why family patterns can be the hardest to break. Often they are not even ours to begin with, but we do not know another way of being, and so we continue playing out the drama. The thing to notice when ancestral healing comes up is that you cannot heal another person, but your own healing can cause another person to choose to heal. Energy is freed up. You are being guided now to look at your life and decide how you want it to be. What ways of being or patterns are you ready to free yourself from? What part of your future do you want to rewrite? Now is the time to shake them off and dream a new future into being. What old ways of being from the family line are you ready to let go? Seek assistance from your support team, tribe, friends, healer, coach, to begin freeing yourself from it now. Transformation. Transformation, this is the activation card. This is what has to happen before you can break the chain. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing is coming through. Transformation is 106. Exactly 46 pages, cards in front. Things are going on at a cellular level. Deep healing. Things are changing at a cellular level. You are not who you were a year ago, or who you will soon be. You are in between, emerging, half risen, half falling. Keep doing the work. You are transforming. You will look back at this time with awe. So much is happening in your inner world and within yourselves. It's time to release old ways of being that have kept you in fight, flight, or freeze mode, which is stress related. And stress can come out with colds, with allergies, with hay fever. Fever is actually, as they start with fever, fever, cold. Fever comes from fear, extreme fear. To choose a new way of being where trauma is not the driving force. The old childhood patterns are rising up to be healed. As you allow yourself to observe them and feel them without attachment, they loosen their grip and fall away. You are being called to find new ways to self-soothe. Saturn and the Black Madonna and the African goddess Oshun influence this card. Saturn represents destruction and transformation. The Black Madonna represents the underground and all that has been cast aside, and Oshun represents the tender love of the original mother. A rethreading is happening, healing at the deepest of levels while you are in this phase. Don't put yourself under pressure to perform. You may need to review your relationship with your body, perhaps even shifting your diet or exercise regime, or getting energetic healing support. You may also need to consider some kind of emotional support, as issues from your childhood may come up to be healed. You are being loved. Yeah, you have to allow yourself to receive the deepest healing and transformation for change to happen at a cellular level. Being in the makeup industry, and that's all about creating illusions and things that aren't there, is a lot of work. Not only is it a lot of work, but you have to also give something of yourself to that person when you're doing their makeup. You're actually giving them, making them feel beautiful. You're transforming their face, right, to look amazing with the right products and the right things. But you're also healing them on a not only a physical but an emotional level. Because when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you look good. There's the old saying, it's hand in hand. If you don't feel good about yourself, if you feel low, if you don't feel attractive, then you're going to project that. And you don't need to be Einstein to figure out that when you're sad, you're not going to hold yourself as well. You're not going to be fully who you are. When I had an eating disorder when I was like 13, I was thin. I looked great, but inside I was dead. I was sick. I was so sick. I had anorexia when I was like 13. And I remember not being able to get out of bed to even check on the soup because I was so unwell. They couldn't even find the vein to take blood from me because I was so sick with anorexia. It was an obsession. Food was my obsession. And I got down to the point where all I would eat would be vegetables. That was it. And I've done that before. It's a good cleansing thing, but you can't exist on just vegetables alone. You also have to get some sort of protein in your diet, or you will become unwell. I'm trying to get my health back on track. It's not been good, but then I don't eat very well because when you're sad, you don't have an appetite. I miss these two beautiful boys. I miss them. And, I worry about them. I think everyone needs their mum. Everyone. And even if you say, oh, I don't want your help, you actually do need their help. You just might be too proud to ask for it. I'm exactly the same as my son, Christopher, and I'm very similar. So if you guys are hearing this, love you boys, reach out to Mama Bear. And that's all I have for you.